Still do. We still do. We're in grands of volleyball now.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, we are going to have our losers matches off stream, unfortunately, just due to time constraints. So JDV versus Sparkle and Myaxi versus Dominique are going to be off stream, but we will be bringing you the losers semifinals match immediately after this winners finals match that's coming right up. Onin versus 6 Isthmus, which is Mboz.
Mboz, my man loves to change his tags. These players should not be afforded this much power in Start GG.
Make the cooldown like 3 months at least.
You know, I was at main sequence the other day. Justice's tag changed mid-bracket.
Mid-bracket! That should be illegal.
I was like, who is this guy? But Onin, you know, the tried and true, once he figured it out, he stuck with it. The Steve propaganda here in the PNW.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be Onin, you know, as the favorite to win the whole event, especially this match, but they have their work cut out for them on the other side. Mboz is a player that really does not care about the tier list, does not care about what character you're playing, because, you know, he's well known for figuring out tricky matchups and making them look pretty good for this Duck Hunt Dog.
Yeah, I've said this before, I'll say it again. When you watch this man Embo play, you don't see the weaknesses of the character. It's incredible the way he's able to play around them, most notably with how he uses the can to cover his disadvantage.
Yeah, I really like how every time he's in a bad situation, it feels like there's no escape. The can is there to bail him out. It is just his saving grace. But right now, it might need to be a huge amount of saving grace. Look at this. You were off the stage in disadvantage against the best character in the game at that spot. And you just got out for free.
And he's going to have to feel out and decide throughout all of that, how does Embo want to approach this matchup? Does he want to approach Steve aggressively and try to prevent him from getting those resources, or does he want to stall it out? Those are kind of your two ways of doing this. The key thing is that you don't get caught in the middle.
Yeah, I think the Duck Hunt Dog does not have the best tools for dealing with the walls. He has some things that make it a little bit easier to like threaten Steve over the walls, like you can throw the can over, but like doesn't have a good way of just straight up breaking them. So it's gonna have to be like a battle of attrition, I'm sure. And even when Steve is low on resources, Duck Hunt does not have what it takes to force those resources out quickly, Lenzini.
Absolutely. His ability to just shut down, we see right there with that wall, the can's not going to be enough. The can plus the back air is not enough. And no amount of pressure that he's able to put on that wall is going to force Onin to play that 50-50 game. He can just keep mining and then eventually react if he does choose to jump over, which is so high commitment.
Yeah, I think I like to talk about on PS2, Steve has multiple phases. You know, Steve is a little bit like an Elden Ring boss here. And he has multiple phases. Right now, we're deep into phase 3 where he has a ton of stone built up. He has diamond tools. And, you know, he has basically everything he could want except for a couple more irons on deck. And this is the toughest spot for a lot of characters to deal with. If you are wanting to play that long game with Steve, you have to be able to fight him at full force in peak form, and it seems like Embo has what it takes.
Yes, he does. 107, though. This stock is not long for this world. We see the anvil that could have killed him. Great movement from Embo, able to stay alive. But again, it just gives Onin more time every time he sends him away to get those resources back and set up for this final stop.
Yeah, one notable thing is Onin has the diamond, has opted not to spend the time building it. And there we go. We do see it finally picked up. But he had been, you know, trying to fight with just the wooden tools for a while. Now with the diamond on deck, the DOD, we might see a little bit more aggressive options coming out. Oh, no mash.
Oh, yeah, we don't mash those. I'm not sure what he was going for. Maybe he started too late because he was scared of Onin coming out with the forward air spike, you know, the classic. You can't air dodge out of that minecart, and you just got to kind of hope for the timing mix-up instead. But, hey, you've got that fragile lead, but fragile it is.
Yeah, the delayed mash is not always going to be exactly what you want. All right, setting up with the can. Embo very good at these ledge traps. Unfortunately, minecart is strong and able to get over them in a forward smash the other direction. Suddenly, the shoe's on the other foot. Mom's cookie, it's being taken right out of the cookie jar.
Ooh, it's okay, we're chilling. Mom didn't see that one. We're still alive. Put that right back on the top shelf. One more opportunity here before Mom's spaghetti gets a hold of it. And there it is with the up air. 2-in-1 game, he was able to find those.
Yeah, the duck working overtime. All right, so who do you think is stronger, the duck or the dog? It is the Duck Hunt Dog.
yeah. I think the can, actually, if I'm being honest. None of the
That's
rest
like
of those
rock,
moves
paper,
kill.
scissors, shotgun, you know?
Yeah, the Hogan's Alley got hands out here. That is his favorite dance, the can.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. I got to ask some people that, what's Duck Hunt's favorite dance? The can.
Exactly. No one will see it coming.
They never will. We gotta ask if we interview Embo, you gotta ask that.
What's your favorite dance? I really like the gritty. That's pretty hip right now.
Nah. All right, but starting right now, so a little bit more of forgiving walls on this stage. We're going to be seeing some wood and some stone walls, just a neutral stage in terms of, what materials you have, so any of them could be built up. But it does mean it's a lot easier to break for Duck Hunt Dog, who, like I said, doesn't have those super strong attacks to break through the stone blocks, but still can fight through the weaker ones a little bit better than Katie.
There's another type of wall that also comes into this. When he's off stage, it's a lot easier to ride up the walls against Steve without accidentally getting pineapple.
This is true. But, I mean, this is Onin's counterpick on the other side.
Yes,
so
it is.
Definitely saw something he liked about this stage, and perhaps it's just, the neutral materials, perhaps it's something about that. But right now, it's been a little bit of Onin favored, but still just getting that kill actually proved very difficult in the last set, which is surprising for a character like Steve.
I think one aspect of this is the landings. We had 2 kills in the last game from those relatively stray up airs that Embo was able to find. So if Onin can shut down that possibility, okay, I guess you just get up smashed instead. No concern here from Embo's side of the screen.
Yeah, stray indeed. Not getting the stray can hit after the throw, but still, I mean, a lot of work to do for Onin to get the stock. He's still sitting on wooden tools, doesn't have the best way to get the kill, and now caught in a little bit of a rock and a hard play situation with that clay pigeon on one side and the can on the other.
One thing I'm curious to see here is if Embo starts doing F smash to ledge as a mix-up option. Of course, against Steve, that's not as useful as it is in some other matchups, but that's been kind of the PNW meta for the last month. All of a sudden, everybody has just been doing F smash on wake up at the ledge, and it's working.
That's wild. But, I mean, look at it right now. The resource denial has actually been paying off super hard for Embo this game. Onin's sitting on poverty completely, just barely having a block to his name right now, is trying to figure out his way out of the corner. Onin finally gets a dash attack and some time to build resources, but Latini, this is barely enough to even fight with.
And the way he's pressuring with that can under the block as well, because it was just dirt there, and the snipe out of the minecart. And on top of that, putting that can on the top platform. We double parry those though. Onin back with the diamond tools.
Yeah, 169%. I mean, this is just showing how difficult it has been for Onin to get the kill. And just, once again, these cans are never missing. They're just always finding their mark.
That was so good. He forced the tech roll in, because if he didn't, he was going to get hit by the can. This is what I was talking about. He covers all of the bad parts of this character with that impeccable can placement.
Yeah, Can doing a whole lot of work right now, but big potential combo here. Gets 50%, not too bad for a Steve combo. But once again, the projectiles have beaten out Minecart every single time on startup. He's utilizing both that clay pigeon and the can, as well as blocking the anvil too. It's just doing everything.
Yeah, the threat of those clay pigeon combos has been crazy. Okay, maybe threatening a little too much with those double up airs. Onin gets out of there, sets up his opportunity to mine, but even with that, he hasn't been able to find enough because of things like what we just saw. He had to get rid of the can first.
Good trade there for Onin though, and now last stock. Obviously, Steve is never out of it, but at the same time, Onin, they're gonna need to find something big and much different than the previous stocks, because they've all been, like 160% kills here.
Yeah, speaking of 160, Onin about there right now. Duck Hunt Dog has a lot of opportunities. No matter how stale that can of beans is, it is still fresh enough to kill you at this percent. And there it is. No, the
nope,
GI.
It's too stale.
Okay.
Up air will do it though.
Okay, we throw out that can of beans. That one was a little bit much.
Yeah, I mean that one was way expired. I've been out for months.
That was the 2010 can right there.
That one came out when Ultimate did. Not eating those beans.
No. Gotta give him the beans, though. My goodness, the way Embo is playing right now.
2-0. 2-0 for Embo.
2-0. What's
Making
the tier
light
list?
work of the best character in the game, one of the best players in the world, Onin here. And
This is looking kind of out of pocket right now.
hey.
Holy.
But yeah, so the next.
What's my man doing on the ground? Is he okay?
You
see that?
I missed it.
The man was on all fours on the volleyball court.
Maybe he's meowing out there. I don't know. All right, go to this next game. We do like the same stage for Onin, but I mean, it seemed like it was relatively reasonable stage-wise. There wasn't anything too crazy about it. Just, you know, he has to figure out how to deal with these projectiles because they seem to be the biggest things that are making his life miserable.
Speaking of which, and yeah, I agree with the stage. I feel like Onin was bringing it back. He did shut down a lot more of that anti-air game that Embo had, but at the same time, he still won.
Yeah, Embo's been doing really well at this, and that's a little bit of a taste of your own medicine there.
Oh, we don't take those.
Onin had that setup last game, almost threw Embo into it, but they were not in the right spot at the right time because Embo had a can saving himself.
Onin is usually so comfortable with those as well. Like, I see them set those up all the time against top players for those specific cases that allow them to tech. But in this scenario, who knows? Maybe it was one of those weird untechables that looks techable.
Yeah, or it was just, you know, the fact that like there's like 3 hits on the board smash.
Also
it's not,
true.
Nobody knows the timing for Duck Hunt board smash except for Duck Hunt players. That's for damn sure.
Bro, I will never forget the first time I played against Embo.
Oh, no.
Oh, no one ever forgets.
And no one ever wins the first time they play against him.
I didn't even know who he was. I was just trying to play friendlies.
Yup, and Embo, though, up restocks to 2. Very good spot here into this game. I mean, it seems like Onin has to figure out something so fast if they're going to want to move on in this bracket and win like they're seeded in a run-up up smash. That's 3 stocks to 1. Another smash attack kill for Embo, and it seems like Super Smash Brothers is the name of the game.
Yeah, that might have been a... Ooh, okay, we got the back here. I think that might have been a snapback grab from Onin. Really interesting situation. Or sometimes you're just looking the wrong way and don't realize your character's facing backwards. Either way, Embo doing a great job of taking advantage of that small mistake, giving himself an entire stock lead, and now he's just running away with it.
Yeah, 88% completely unanswered, but now finally a little tiny combo, but only 31% is not going to be enough to put you back in this game. Still looking for a little bit more threatening position with these back airs, but once again, the minecart feels completely useless in this matchup. Only getting that one tiny hit earlier in the set. Now it just feels like every single one has been invalidated by either the clay pigeon or the gunman or any of these special moves coming out from Embo Z.
Embo on the verge here of the 3-0 upset in winners finals, and another up air does it. Embo moving on to grands over Onin.
Yeah, I mean, clinical. Honestly, it felt like Embo was so comfortable in that matchup, knew everything he needed to do, executed super well, and yeah, just let's take a look at these clips. I mean, obviously there was a couple minecart kills early, but after that first game, it just felt like the Embo Z story, finding these up airs, finding these smash attacks, and just projectiles galore for our Duck Hunt hero.
Yeah, the adaptation from Embo was so good. Like you mentioned, the first game looked pretty solid for Onin. It took a pretty difficult comeback from Embo to clutch that one out with that up air on the last stock. But then it was just his set to lose throughout the rest of this on Battlefield, catching those landings over and over despite the tri-plat setup. Onin doing what he could, but at the end of the day, those can setups, those up air setups were just too much for him.
Yeah, Onin, it might be one of those situations, though, where Onin comes back in losers, and they figured some stuff out. They've talked to some people. They'd be like, all right, what the heck do I do against Duck Hunt? Because Onin has the people on deck on the Discord. I bet they're going to get on their phone. They're going to message people. They're going to be like, all right, what the heck do I do against this character? And I feel like we might see a different one if they come back on the losers side. But I don't believe we have our losers semifinals ready just yet. I'm going to be checking in with production real quick, see where we're at. Yep, it seems like we have a couple matches that are happening, but for